You know you have something to go to when you're hungry.
Conscious consumption doesn't just apply to your food. Where else does it apply?
We don't realize how many we're consuming when we drink anything that has calories.
The fewer moving parts, the easier.
We don't make the best decisions sometimes in the moment.
The earlier you stop, the better you're going to sleep.
Look at the calorie counts before you order anything.
If you can forgive yourself, your success rate is going to go up.
Welcome to the Strong Mom Podcast. I am so excited. I'm Lauren.
I'm Dave.
And we have a program called Strong Mom. We help moms get their shit together, essentially, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And during the holidays is a very taxing time for a lot of moms. So we're going to talk about ways to stay on track during the holiday season today.
And sometimes the goal, we'll jump right into it, but the goal is not to lose weight or stress out during the holidays. The goal is to, for a lot of our clients at least, stay the same. Literally hitting the ground running in January is amazing. Like, don't play around in December. Don't get too caught up in trying to, get out ahead of everything in the beginning, or we know how much stress comes with the holidays, presents, kids, vacations, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you remember me saying this, but after the 49th, what felt like the 49th box of putting the decoration boxes away, I was like, the holidays are no joke. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think people want to pretend, right? It's like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It won't stress me out. It's not. Okay, let's be honest for 1 second.
Yeah.
It can crush.
Yeah, the holidays can. So like you said.
Who has memories of their childhood and their mom stressing out about family coming over, the meal, the presents, the Christmas tree, all that stuff? Like, those are kind of vivid memories for my brothers and I, for sure. And I'm guessing we're not the only ones, not to get into my deep trauma right now. If I cry, I'm sorry. The good thing is my mom doesn't listen, so she'll never know.
Hi, Mom. No, for real though, there's all those memes that say what we think people are going to do when they come over, and it shows them getting the magnifying glass out on the baseboards. And we take care of so many things when we do have people over, when we are hosting, when we do want to make sure everything is quote unquote perfect, which we know it's never going to be perfect. So yeah, it is a lot of work. And the goal, I think, is to enjoy the holiday season. We hear it's a magical time of the year, and it's supposed to be about those that you love. It's supposed to be about family, and it can easily get out of hand if we don't reel it back in. I can tell you there were many past holiday seasons where I just wanted it to be over. And it comes around once a year, and then I get all excited and I set these unrealistic expectations on, can't wait for this time. Oh, the holidays are coming. I love the holidays. And then all of a sudden that turns very quickly into, I just can't wait for this to be over. It's a lot.
I wish you would have told me. Then we could have talked about it, kind of commiserated together, because I probably felt the same way watching you.
I have no doubt. But that's what we're talking about today. The reason why it matters to continue to take care of ourselves, no matter if it's the holiday season, if it's not, is so that we're able to show up. And those are the words. Show up are the two words that I think of all the time. We want to be able to show up for our families. We want to be able to show up for ourselves. We want to be present. So it's really important that, as you mentioned, we're not trying to make all these amazing gains at the moment, but we are just doing our best to stay consistent so that all the progress that we have made during the year doesn't go anywhere, and we're able to feel more at peace. We're able to be more present.
So let's talk about hacking.
I hate the word hack, but yeah, I get your point. Okay.
No one's listening to this if they didn't think they were getting some hacks. Everyone loves hacks.
That's true. People do love hacks. All right. So let's talk about
tricks and tips.
Well, we're going to talk about those for sure. I just hate the
okay.
word hack, I guess. So really quickly, and I'll let you.
Because what you did at the plate.
Hack. I hope softball people do listen to this. Okay, here we go. I'll let you take this because you have a better context. So let's talk about.
I mean, not really, but I'll take it anyways.
Okay, well, let's talk about at the holidays in particular.
Quickly, we want to talk about nutrition versus exercise and really the purpose of each, because I think it gets mixed up, twisted around. People think they need to, and this is still a thing. I know from talking to people, they think they need to do more exercise during the holidays to not put the weight on, to not head into the new year feeling, we get these crazy words, right? People say like soft and mushy, all these type of things. And even the people that need to lose like 5 pounds feel that way. So it's a common thing.
Yep.
But I want to touch nutrition. Let's be clear. Nutrition is for your body composition. Exercise is for your wellness, your physical fitness and your mental fitness. Those are very different things, right? Can you exercise like crazy and lose weight? Yes. The likelihood of it, it's not great. It's a great complement to the eating piece. Again, it's for the physical, mental wellness and fitness. So the idea that you can burn the dessert off or with the drinks, champagne, whatever you're doing, the cranberry jelly or whatever, what is it? Jello?
It's your cranberry jello.
Yeah. Our son loves the like ancient recipe cranberry jello from my grandmother, Will's great grandmother, that we hold in such high esteem. It probably came off the back of like the Jello box in like 1962, right? 100%. But we think she invented it. Like it's this great thing. Anywho, let's just, as we get started, let's erase that out exercise the food thing. Because it's especially at the holidays, your odds like during the year are, let's just be clear, probably better because you're eating at least moderate calorie food. At the holidays, I don't know you, but I do know you. You're probably gorging dessert and ice cream and those big meals and parties. And you should. Like, it's okay. Food on some level is part of our this kind of social fabric and the sharing of memories with people, family especially. So we're not trying to get rid of it, but we're going to teach you how to be smart about it. Lauren wants to teach you how to hack it. I don't love that word. I don't love the word. All right. Here's a great example, though. I know, tired of me talking. The average cookie has 150 calories. The average person, say, eats 3 of them.
Yeah, no one's eating just
These are like low-cal cookies. Don't even hit that Starbucks where you can see the actual calorie counts. Or Panera. Big Panera guy for me right now.
You are
Drop
big.
Grace off at volleyball. Take my computer. Maybe do a maple braid. Yeah. But at the holidays, it's terrible. The odds of you burning those 500 calories off in a workout, not good, right? Not good.
Well, what I was going to say too was a lot of times we want to take things off of our plate. We're like, I'm too busy. So moms in general, we want to simplify. So if we think that we're going to go into the holiday season with the mindset that I'm going to burn off my dessert with extra working out, you're not spending an extra 30 minutes in the gym every day. You're not spending an extra hour. I'm not talking 30 minutes. I'm saying an extra 30 minutes. So let's just also be mindful of, we have an idea that we want to burn it off, but doesn't mean it's going to happen.
All right.
Time is at a premium.
What's the way to think about it?
So we like the words conscious consumption, and we're actually going to teach you some ways that we've managed to stay on track and feel like nothing's changed. I don't feel like I'm ever depriving.
So what exactly, give us a good soundbite. Conscious consumption is
just understanding where your calories are, where they stand, where they're coming from, how many calories are in a serving, understanding what a serving is. Holidays, it's easy. I know this. Like, I'm a huge peppermint bark person. I could reach my hand in that peppermint bark bin, I don't know how many times, and go back for more and more and more. But the minute I'm reminded of how many calories are in one little square, oof, it stops me. Like, I need to understand.
Before you grab the thing. That's the problem. I think it's too late for most people. They eat, consume, unconscious consumption. And then at the end of the day, they're like, oh, wait, I had 17 cookies. Oh, and by the way, they're each 100 calories, right? Conscious consumption doesn't just apply to your food. Where else does it apply?
Everywhere. Conscious consumption and what you're taking in from social media, conscious consumption of everything that's going on around us. Exercise, we want to be sure that we're being conscious of. Alcohol, we want to be sure, right? It's so easy to be on your third drink and say, well, it's just my second. It's because we forget, or someone tops you off and you don't count it. Because you're like, well, it is still my first glass.
How many people have said that? They go to the restaurant, maybe they get the glass of wine, they get the big pour.
But it's
from the rookie waiter or waitress gives you the big pour.
But it's just one glass.
It's just one. It's actually 2.
Maybe 3, to be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're not advocating for zero drinking, by the way.
No, conscious consumption just means you have some type of awareness, right? Think about the holiday foods, like the chocolate covered almonds, the things that are so easy to just put your hand in, grab a whole bunch.
The things that sit on the counter during the holidays, for sure. Peppermint bark has got to be the worst.
Oh, it's so good though. I mean, I love I'd say I live for peppermint bark. I don't live for it, but I love peppermint bark. Anyways, anything mint. I feel like mint chocolate is polarizing. I could be wrong. People either think mint and chocolate go together or they think it doesn't.
Disagree. I don't think anyone who doesn't like.
I know lots of people who don't like mint chocolate. They think it's.
You know what's polarizing?
What?
Lauren.
What, David?
Pineapple and pizza. That's polarizing.
What? No, maybe I see it. We grew up on Hawaiian. It was called Hawaiian. Ham and pineapple.
Do you know why that makes sense?
Can't wait for you to break this down.
No, you're Canadian. Don't understand pizza. Kind of like, you know what I mean? Like you're just on the fringes of pizza culture up there.
All right.
Facts.
Anyways.
Let's talk about how I do not like the word hack, but you're going to talk about
let's talk about how we can manage. How about that? Be in control of what we are putting on our plates and into our bodies during the holiday season without taking up a lot of brain space or feeling like you're a bad person because you're eating, dessert or whatever, baby.
Quickly just address the hacking part. Can you hack?
Oh, you cannot hack it. You can't. You can make a decision. It's a decision. Everything we do is a decision. There's no hack. Let's find ways to make.
Yeah, there's no shortcuts.
Yeah.
People will say like the nutrition hack is don't eat something.
Right. It's a strategy. So whenever people give you hacks,
it might be a strategy that's a little bit more simple to follow. Maybe.
Yeah, okay, I could see that, but it's still a strategy. And people love to use the word hacks because everyone's like, it's like psychologically, if we know that it's going to be easier, even though I say the exact same thing, but this is a hack and this isn't, it'll probably stick
People get drawn to the hacks.
100%. So let's talk about strategies. Because really what it comes down to, a lot of times people try and rely on willpower. So if you can think about going through this holiday season, having strategies, my favorite, I have a lot of favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes is, we don't rise to the occasion. We don't rise to the goal that we're trying to hit. We fall to the level of our systems. We fall to the strategies that we have in place. But most people don't even have them. Like if I say, hey, what's your holiday strategy to just make sure you stay on track? Most people look at me like I'm crazy. Whereas if I say, hey, to keep on track nutritionally, specifically, most people are like, oh, I'm just going to do my best not to eat as many desserts. It's like they rely on willpower. Yeah. And I hate to break it to everybody, but there isn't a person who's...
Well, there's science around willpower being limited, right? Like it's like for all the video game nerds, which are probably zero moms. Did you play video games?
Well, like I had a Sega growing up, you mean?
Yeah, but like, did you play? I feel like...
I played Duck Hunt. I remember Duck Hunt.
Bro, Duck Hunt was like the worst Nintendo game.
I didn't even know it was on Nintendo. I had a Sega.
I'm older, Nintendo.
Okay.
If there's any Atari people out there, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Anyways.
Again, fringe of video game culture too. So what I was going to say is willpower is like your power bar in a video game. Let's say you're playing Punch Out, old school, or any video game where you have, you see the power bar, it drains sound effects. It drains during the day.
Yeah.
And so like you have more willpower in the morning than you do at night, which is why people tend to go off the rails. If you're hungry at night, losing strategy.
Yeah. And you're normal. Just normalize that. Like I think sometimes people think, well, it's easy for you guys because if there's peppermint bark in the house and it's easily accessible, I can only walk by it so many times before I start picking off little pieces. And then the next thing you know, I ate like 4 pieces. I walked by it
0 times. Like the strategy for me, that raisin bread, like Lauren knows this. I'm a bit of a pastry, baked goods kind of guy.
A bit.
It's just who I am. I think it's genetic. I saw that on 21andMe. What is it called? 23andMe. People are gonna think I don't have enough chromosomes now. Oops. I just tipped everyone off.
You love pastries.
There's a lot of ancillary jokes to that one. So anyways,
I think I just bought more raisin bread.
I know if it's in the house, like I'm old enough now that I know. I'm eating the whole loaf, so I might as well just eat it in 2 days. Like I've had 4 pieces today already.
Bought it this morning.
I know, but the strategy for me is like I can't have it in the house. Again, willpower doesn't work. I don't want to eat it all.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's just
I won't buy it anymore, but I know you like it.
Yeah. So again, it's the balance. But at the same time, like, here's how my brain works. Like if I'm doing that, I'm building like meals around it, right? So I'm having super clean, lean protein shake, like water and protein powder for 50 grams. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, this is my carbs and a little bit of fat. And so I'm basically building a meal around that. I'm not eating a meal and then eating that and then having peanut butter something or other where it's just tons of calories. So I can easily kind of manage my weight around the toast. Is it the healthiest? No. Am I okay with it? Fitting into my overall bigger strategy? Yes. So again, willpower, no. Strategy, yes.
Yeah, conscious consumption right there. But let's talk about some strategies.
We have how many things?
We have 7 and a bonus. 7 and a bonus. So let's talk about the 7 things that are very easy for you to do. I always look at it as short-term pain, and it's not even pain at all. It's like short-term work, but it rhymes, short-term pain, long-term gain. If you just spend a little bit of time, this is strategy number 1, plan.
Oh, now tell me about planning.
Take 5 minutes, think about where you're going, the timing of it, what's going to be there, what's going to be your kryptonite. Like, are you going to a holiday party where you know there's going to be a ton of booze and you know there's going to be a ton of pastries? Are you going to a sit-down dinner? Like, take 5 minutes and think about it. And then if you can think about it beforehand and ask yourself and make a plan beforehand, you're not caught off guard like, oh, I didn't know we were going to have all of this dessert and I'm just going to have some anyways.
The cocktail party where you walk in saying, okay, I'm going to have 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you can in your head know that you're going to a restaurant, dessert is coming, you're going to choose sorbet versus cheesecake. By the way, about an 800 calorie difference.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. And one thing we also, I would say, recommend, or a strategy that we think of, is if you know there's going to be a lot of food and dessert, pick appetizer or dessert. Don't do both. That's just one simple way. Like, I'm going to a dinner. There's probably going to be appetizers and dessert. So just pre-think of it. When you're in your right mind, and when I mean when you're in your right mind is you're not stressed and you're not overwhelmed, you're not starving, you make a plan and you stick to the plan. Pick one, appetizer or dessert. That's strategy number 1. You want to take strategy number 2?
Sure. Number 2, simple, know yourself. Okay. Stick to the relatively the same routine that you've always had. If you are normally a breakfast person, eat breakfast, right? If you don't try and starve yourself out at certain points in the day, you can eat a smaller breakfast if you know again, back to number 1, planning. You can eat a smaller breakfast if you know you've got this gigantic afternoon, you're going to what do we do with the kids? The Polar Express. If you're hitting up the Polar Express that night and you know hot chocolate's going to be up and down and candy and the kids and this, that, and the other thing, you can eat less, but don't try and play too much with it. Yeah. The fewer moving parts, the easier. Yeah.
And when you know yourself, and we have people on both ends, right? We know people who need breakfast. Otherwise, they feel like crap and they can't manage, and they actually do better during the day. Otherwise, they get starving and then they overeat and they can't help themselves. And then there's people who are like, you know what? I'm actually not that hungry right in the morning, and I push everything out, and that just helps me manage my day better too, because I'm not shoving in calories when I don't need or want them. So there's no right. I look at it like there's no right or wrong. But I have seen this happen a lot where it's like, okay, I'm just going to, starve myself, even though they know they need breakfast. And then all of a sudden lunch comes and 2,000 calories.
They double down on
especially
lunch.
During this time of year, because people have all the pastries and the cookies, and more things are available than normal, right? Like, we have more shit in our house right now than we normally do. Like,
10 times
Miss
more.
Eileen dropped off cookies that we would normally not have. We had peppermint bark, which never comes around. I bought that cinnamon toast, or the raisin toast, whatever it is. But we do have more. We just have more shit. We just do. So anyways, know yourself. Love it. Another one, I'm a huge believer in just having your own back. Strategy number 3, bring snacks and always carry gum. So if you bring a healthy snack and you put it in your purse, we're moms, we always carry things. Put it in your purse, put it in a jacket pocket, whatever you want. You have something to go to when you're hungry. This could go for, maybe you're not going to pull something out in the middle of a dinner, but say you are running around doing shopping and trying to get last minute things, or you're running a bunch of errands, or the busy part comes in that maybe isn't necessarily at a dinner. Have your own from home food, what's in there. What happens is we don't eat. We're starving, we're out, we go buy a Starbucks and we say that peppermint frappuccino and the gingerbread loaf is great. And the next thing you know, you're 800 to 1,000 calories in for no reason. So bring your own snacks. There's no reason not to. The other thing that I want to share as a strategy it's a huge me strategy. So it actually is a huge strong mom strategy, is bring gum wherever you go. And if you are someone who is drawn towards sweets like I am, right? I love my gummies. I always have watermelon gum because it gives me that dose of sweet. And I know you hate watermelon gum, but I get that sweetness and I'm chewing. There are people who like mint gum. There are people who like cinnamon gum. Like, bring gum or mints. But that could hold you over because we have those urges. And if we can just let that urge pass, maybe we need like a little bit to get over that urge. All of a sudden now what we would have taken 500 calories in on an urge as we're in the mall next to a coffee shop in the mall, all of a sudden now you're got your gum, you've moved past it, and now you're in your car and you can't eat anyways.
I think that's a money move.
Yeah, I agree.
Think about the cocktail party, or if you're, before dinner with family or whatever, and people bring out wine or champagne or whatever. And then there's always, like, not to get too fancy, I don't know if you guys do these, charcuterie board.
Ooh,
That's just out with the drinks or whatever. It's literally just like a gigantic plate of calories. All good. Like, again, if you're comfortable and you're feeling good about yourself, like, eat whatever's on the board. But most of us on some level are trying to be relatively mindful, right? If you pass on that charcuterie board,
ooh,
quite fancy. I just learned that word this morning.
Saying it very well.
Thanks. If you pass on that, you have more calories in the bank for later, right? So it's just a shell game to begin with. But back to the gum, how many times have you been stuck somewhere and you're like, hey, do you have a napkin? Do you have something I can throw my gum in? If you have nowhere to put your gum, then you literally can't get rid of it to eat, right? I just picture walking around, mingling with people. Like, we would have the track, our gym's holiday party. You're just kind of on the go with a drink in your hand for a long period of time. There's hors d'oeuvres and food being passed around. You can't eat it if you can't, right? You're looking for that awkward place to put your gum. Maybe I put it in Lauren's hand and walk away, whatever. But it's a great strategy.
Yeah, it will. That will elongate the drink in your hand, meaning like that one drink will last you an hour instead of maybe guzzling.
Yours will.
The other thing about gum too, and this is a strategy not just for the holidays, but we have told moms like, hey, just go brush your teeth. Not a lot tastes. No.
That's rude.
I mean, if you snack at night, I need to give more context. If you snack at night, go brush your teeth early. Go brush your teeth at 7.
Okay.
Because after you're done brushing with mint toothpaste, nothing really tastes good. Nothing follows mint up very well. So that's the other thing that happens with mint gum as well, is you'll chew it, and then when you go to think about drinking a glass of whatever, it might not taste as good. So maybe you'll have a glass of water instead beforehand to kind of get that mint out of your mouth. So anyways.
That's why you tell me to brush my teeth.
Oh. All right. I think this one's yours, right?
Oh, number 4. Whoa.
Oh.
Someone's up.
Yep.
Number 4, eat before the party.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, you're not as hungry when you get there. You can be in control of the food you're putting in your stomach, right? If you eat, think about if you had something not heavy, but if you had protein, fills you up a little bit, takes a little bit longer to digest. You're going to be full, and you're not going to grab the maple braid at Panera or whatever the thing is, right? Again, it's just about managing and strategies. Fill yourself up so you're not hungry or as hungry when you get to the party or the gigantic Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's get together, whatever your thing is. Everyone's different, right? I don't know what everyone does, but I know every time our family gets together, there's a lot you can eat forever. Like, my mom makes, back to mom, what is that thing called? That cherry thing she makes?
Oh, the cherry dump. It is called cherry.
It needs rebranded.
It's called cherry dump.
She calls it cherry
good.
Dump. You're like,
It's
that
so
sounds
good.
really awful.
Oh, it's awesome. It's so good.
It has dried cherries in it. And have you ever looked at it? Dried fruit is like maybe the highest, like, per ounce calorie. It's like concentrated fruit, added sugar. And so it's one of those things, like, I know if she's bringing that and I'm hungry, it's gone.
Yeah, it's so good with vanilla ice cream. It's almost like an upside down, like where it's got the crumble on the top and then the cherries. It's so good. So can I just really quickly share a strategy I personally like to use when it comes to the holidays and eating? Because sometimes people are like, well, why would I eat dinner before going out to dinner? The one thing that I've done is I'll eat like a late brunch, maybe 11 to 12. And it will just be straight protein. So my yogurt, straight protein, not a lot else. Right now I'm obsessed with the Banana Oikos 20 gram of protein. It's so good. So anyways, I'll have 2 of those, which is just pretty much pure protein. And maybe I will add a shake if I work out. Okay, so let's just say that that's my morning. That's at 11. That lasts me all till noon. Then what I'll do is, like, you don't have to eat a dinner right before the dinner in terms of like 5 p.m. and your dinner's at 6. But if my dinner's at 6, at 4, I can also just have chicken, eggs, lean protein, egg whites, whatever that may be on a bigger scale. But I'm not
even a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not looking at it like a dinner. So I think sometimes it screws people up when they think, well, why would I eat a dinner before dinner? I just look at it as I'm getting as much lean protein as I can early in the day. Because number one, it's hard to get protein in. And number two, when we go to these big dinners, it's easier to eat the other stuff anyways. It's easier to eat the potatoes and all the beans and the things that aren't protein anyways. So at least I know, okay, I've gotten a decent amount of protein in.
Yeah. It's the same thing as me like making a meal out of raisin toast.
Yeah.
Right. Little carbs and fat, bring in a protein shake, and all of a sudden you have a full macroed out meal. All right, number 5.
Okay. I love this one. Number 5, choose a small plate. There are so many different sizes of plates. There's the appetizer plate. There's the,
salad plate.
Salad plate. Thank you. There are a lot of different plates. Just choose the smaller one. That's a strategy that I love because people want to limit how much they eat. And it's there's something psychological where if it's on your plate, it's like you want to clean your plate, you want to eat it all. Well, even if you fill that sucker full, it's still going to be less food than you would have had if you had a bigger plate. It's literally environment for your food. And if you decide to go back for seconds, at least you're going back to seconds on a small plate. So just the sheer fact that you grab a small plate, you cannot pile it up with as much food as you would have. I don't know very many people who grab a big plate and then put a tenth of their plate full of food and the rest is just open plate. It's just not what happens.
Yeah, you tend to fill it.
Fill it, You grab that extra scoop. So you can't do that if you have a small plate. All right.
Number 6, manage your booze.
Booze.
I know people are probably pissed about that one. There are so many ways, probably do a whole episode on drinking. We actually have a healthy low-cal cocktail guide. We should put that maybe in the show notes. But again, when Laura and I go out to dinner, we'll have a drink. We go on vacation, we'll have a drink. Straight away, it's not healthy. Like we all need to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I personally get a little bit frustrated around the dialogue and discussion around alcohol because I think people try to pretend that it's healthy. They say that red wine has resveratrol when like the amount that you need is like equivalent to like 100 bottles to get a health benefit, while at the same time it's unhealthy for your brain, for other things. It's toxic. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we still enjoy it once in a while, right? We build it into a bigger picture of health.
Yep.
So if you're going to do it right. Like if you've ever looked at the calorie counts on, say, a margarita versus a vodka soda, it's drastic. It could be 200 to 300 calories per drink difference based on sugar. And so
per drink, keep in mind per drink, and no one's for the most part having one. It's easy to get,
especially when your in-laws are around and you're like, they don't listen. Mine don't listen either, so it doesn't matter. I know, I'm just kidding. Honest to God, love my in-laws. I'm just gonna say.
Me too.
I feel like that was insurance. I was honest. Yours was insurance policy.
That's not true. Your parents know I love them. They're the best.
Okay.
Okay.
Back to the holiday drinks. So you think margarita is a tough one, right? With calories, sugar, the whole thing. What do you think eggnog has? Like here's a vat of heavy whipping cream with extra sugar in a dip of alcohol. Have this.
Yeah.
I mean, do people still drink that, right? That's a thing.
It's good. It's good.
You've tried it?
Yeah. We used to have eggnog.
How'd that go in your stomach?
Not good. My stomach does not do dairy and cream well. Dave knows this. Every time I eye something up in the restaurant that has any cream, he's like, nope.
No.
Yeah. No, so quick swaps, though. Just think like Coke to Diet Coke. Just something simple like that.
Diet soda.
Just
every time. Please, just trust us on this, please.
Because ideally,
it's much, much healthier to get less sugar and calories in those cases, especially if you're going to have a few.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. It's because you're going to have multiple and it can just add up very quickly.
It's the tonic soda is a big switch too. It's the exact same thing, but it might not taste quite as good.
Right.
Right. I wonder if they have diet
they have
tonic.
They
must,
have
right?
To. The thing is tonic water, that's what it's called, right? Tonic water is very misleading. Because people think that
it's just sugar water, right?
Well, yeah, but you think it's water. Like you don't. There's
you.
Most people. Well, you know what? I'll speak for myself. I didn't realize how many calories were in tonic water because I'm like, but it's tonic water. It's water. I think the marketing of it itself, it's again being conscious and even knowing what you're putting in your body. I was like shocked. Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
Those are quick. So, okay. The other thing about managing your booze during the holidays, again, everything we're actually talking about goes back to number one, which is plan. Plan to have a glass of water before your first glass of booze. Now, I'm that dork, and I'm more than happy to say this. Like, I love the fancy glasses. I love the bubbles. I used to hate the bubbles, but I like the bubbles. I love the festivity of it. I've been known to like put some sparkling water with a little lime on the side in a champagne glass and have water to start. So make a plan, or this is what I do, make a plan to do sparkling water instead of champagne or Prosecco or rosé. And then
wow, you never drink.
Those are my go-tos. I don't often, but then I will have a glass and then I'll go back to a sparkling water. And it still gives me that feel and festive. I don't feel like I'm missing out. But the next thing you know, I've got 3 drinks in my stomach, 2 are water, 1 is not. And eventually I can't only hold so much water, like liquid in my stomach. So
yeah, that's a little bit of the gum strategy, the water between. It's obviously healthy to stay hydrated.
But the kicker with the water is you got to plan for it, because guess what's going to happen? If you don't have that as your plan and someone's coming around like saying, hey, can I top you up? Like you're going to say yes. When we're in the moment, we don't make the best decisions sometimes in the moment. But if we have pre-thought about it, we will say to ourselves like, no, I'm going to drink this one and have a water. So when they ask, you can say, no, actually, you know what? I'm good for right now.
One more thought on managing your booze.
Oh,
earlier in the evening is better.
Yes.
For your sleep, it's kind of the science and study around it. And it makes complete sense. You shouldn't even really need science and study around it. But alcohol absolutely disrupts your sleep patterns. If you can drink a little bit earlier in the day / evening dinner and not carry on late, the earlier you stop, the better you're going to sleep. And again, sleep is a big part of the health picture, especially during the holidays. Managing stress, all the other things, better decision making.
Yeah. Now I'm going to get into strategy number 7 because I want to actually piggyback on what you just said. Do it earlier, drink earlier, because some people might be like, well, I want to have a good time. I'm looking at this from, if you're having an entire holiday season, we know that there are multiple parties you can go to. There's always something to celebrate. There's, family coming over, friends coming over, your work holiday party, something for the kids.
There's stress.
There's stress around the holidays, but there are going to be times if it's New Year's Eve and you're like, yeah, I'm going to have a great time. Awesome. So strategy number 7 is forgive yourself and just kind of like turn the page. Know that it's not going to be perfect. Know if you're going to go out and you're going to have, more drinks than you normally do, and it's New Year's Eve, and that's your plan, right? Like you plan to do that, because I'm a big believer in, if you know that's just going to be your night, great. It's where people get in trouble is where they want to stay on track, and then they feel guilty because they drank more than they wanted to. Like I always talk about this on vacation. I look at vacation, I have 2 different ways of going on vacation. I look at the holidays, there's 2 different ways to tackling holiday days. Am I just going to like let go and not care, and then I know tomorrow I'm back on track? Or am I really trying to keep, the course? So long story short is, if you are going to drink and it is New Year's and you're not like me and you don't I have a shirt that says most likely to be in bed at 9 p.m. Shout out to our daughter, Grace. She got it for me because that's true.
So fun.
Just forgive yourself.
That's not just drinking. That's eating the dessert.
Everything.
We said this at the beginning. I think there are moments during the holidays that they're traditions, they're family things. You are always going to have memories of some of these moments. It's okay. You're not ever going to look back if you manage the big picture well and you're not off the rails. Like if you follow most of these strategies at one time or another and you kind of manage through the holidays, and then it comes to Christmas Eve and you're up late and you have a bunch of drinks with your parents or your kids if they're home from college, or those moments, you're never going to regret that.
Yep.
Right. And so we're always going to advocate for the memory making as long as you can manage through the big picture. Right.
Yeah. I think sometimes people take the strategies and are like, but I want to enjoy myself. Of course you do. I think these strategies are freeing, because if I know that I can manage 90% of my days, 95% of my days, and that allows me the brain space to say like, yeah, this one day isn't going to make a big deal, right? This one day is not going to make a huge splash in my progress. It's one day. Where we get in trouble is where we don't have any strategies through the whole holiday season that starts before Thanksgiving. Actually, it starts at, if you really want to be honest, it starts at Halloween. So we have Halloween. If we have had no restraint whatsoever, we've had no strategies, and we've just eaten more candy than we ever would have in any other time. And that rolls right into, well, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, which rolls right into the holidays, which rolls right into New Year's. We get in trouble when all of a sudden that's the 3 months. You do it a night, 2 nights, whatever that may be. Like, these strategies are super freeing because it allows me to go to your parents and eat all that pumpkin pie on a small plate, but it seems like it's real big, and I don't worry about it.
I think if you can forgive yourself, your success rate is going to go up instantly, essentially. That's where we see a lot of probably of our strong moms get into trouble, is when you can't forgive yourself. You're very hard and judgy about what you've done, and that drives you to make the next decision poorly.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you just throw your hands up and you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever we're going to do.
Again, it goes back to planning. If you plan to like tie one on and eat all the peppermint bark, then there's nothing to feel bad about.
I like that. I've never heard the tie one on in reference to peppermint bark.
No, and eat all the peppermint bark.
Okay.
You have a lot of drinks. Isn't that tie one on? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's how typically what I would.
And eat all the peppermint bark.
I thought that was like, wow, we're going to get crazy tonight. We're going to slam like 8 pieces of peppermint bark.
No, if you know, and that's part of your plan, is to go and say, I am not worried. Like, whatever I eat, I eat. If that's your plan, then there's no reason to feel bad. You're following your plan.
All right. So you promised a bonus.
All right. Starbucks. During the holidays.
There goes our sponsorship.
Ah, damn it. During the holidays, Starbucks can be extremely dangerous. When we drink calories, there's a couple different things that happen, but we don't realize how many we're consuming when we drink anything that has calories. We can also take in 2, 3, 4 times the amount of calories via drinks than we could with food, just based on the form of it. And they're sneaky. They're super sneaky. You're like, well, how many calories could actually be in here? So just be very mindful. There was a swap that I thought was awesome. As someone who does love peppermint, if you want to go to Starbucks, this again, I forget where I heard it. It could have actually been from our gym. Go have 1 pump of peppermint. If you do a peppermint latte, do it on skim, or if you look at the back, like almond milk doesn't have as many calories as something like 2% or whole. Definitely that's a no-go for me. And then do a squirt of peppermint bark and then sugar-free vanilla. So, because a lot of times they don't have sugar-free peppermint, they don't have sugar-free pumpkin. If I find a place with sugar-free pumpkin, I'm all in. But I'm just saying there are ways if you are. I love this.
I would never order any of these things that you're talking about.
Well, totally, but people do. So I'm trying to help.
It's crazy. Yes, just to piggyback, Starbucks is my Starbucks app with all the points and things. I think I flipped the score. Like, it's run the number of point thing stars all the way up and then turned over back to 0. We've gone there so much. Love Starbucks.
Yep.
But I've got a very tight system on how I order there. Like, you can do really well at Starbucks or you can do really poorly. And I think they do a great job of disguising things enough that people do really poorly. Like, watching kids carry Frappuccinos out of Starbucks is like the bane of my existence, right? I see the mom hand like, here's one for you, one for you, one for you. They're like 900 calories. They have things, I believe, that are over 1,000 calories.
Yes.
That just get pounded by people.
With like the whipped cream on top. And so
I'm all about do your thing and forgive yourself, but like,
be mindful. Like, look, one of the things that we've told people is, I'm not telling you to not go to Starbucks, but we are saying, look at the calorie counts before you order anything, because it might change your mind. You might order, maybe instead of doing the venti, right? So it's called venti. You do the tall. There could be a switch that could very well save you 500, 600, 700 calories in one drink.
Yeah. Lauren said it the best. A lot of times you're out shopping. Do people still, by the way, I didn't see Starbucks when I was on the internet buying all the presents. man, that's
Yeah.
like Wall-E, right? Everyone's just going to fight their weight because no one leaves the house.
People still shop outside.
That's
the
when
house.
Starbucks for me, and it's not just Starbucks. There's other, depending where you live, it could be Dunkin' Donuts, could be Timmy's.
Any pastry shop.
Yeah, whatever. It's out there. Be careful of those places. Starbucks, again, super sneaky. Me personally, black coffee, maybe a little skim. The egg white and turkey bacon sandwich, I'm telling you right now, if
We've talked. I know.
you buy two and you make a double decker, you get rid of the half the bun on each or the muffin, put it together, and you get like 35 grams of protein and like 300 calories or something.
But when people go to when we're thinking holidays, like we're thinking the drinks, the holiday drinks and the cute cups. It's all the holiday
I know,
cups.
but the thing is, for me, if you eat that, again, it's back to the original point. If you have that as your protein when you're out, you're going to feel full and have gotten something really healthy, relatively healthy as far as protein consumption. And you're not going to feel like, oh, I need to get believe me, the pastry shelf at Starbucks calls my name every time. But if I'm having that kind of healthier protein option, I'm not grabbing the cheese Danish.
Yeah.
Right. So
anywho, might grab the cheese Danish. Who eats cheese Danish? I'd still
me and Cops.
100%.
Me and Paul Blart.
You and Paul Blart. What else? What else can you do? One of the other things is find someone to hold you accountable.
That's an easy one,
right?
Yeah, I hold you accountable.
You actually do.
I don't do it in a very healthy way though. I'm like
You make fun of me?
Yeah, I'm a needler.
100%.
I did see a stat. I'll post it. I don't know who made the study up, but
you probably did.
Couples that tease each other are healthier and love each other more.
You probably did make it up now that I think about the fact you sent that to me.
I paid somebody to post it on their story.
Totally. But no, find accountability. Like right now in our inner circle, it's actually really cool because I open up our app, the Strong Mom app where our platform is, and oh my gosh, this is amazing. Someone actually wrote, here's my holiday mantra. And one of our mom's holiday mantras was connection over consumption this holiday season.
I like that.
Someone else's was, I can still enjoy the holidays and not overeat. And like when I open up my app and I see that, I'm like, damn, like I want to take those myself, right? Like I can still enjoy them. I think sometimes we have this feeling like we have to pair, well, it's the holidays, I have to overeat. And she went through this whole, one of our moms went through this whole post about how amazing it is to feel like you can still enjoy the holidays and not have to completely gorge yourself. They're not, whatever, you know what I mean?
Control at the end of the day is going to bring you more joy than the dopamine rush from 7 pieces of cheesecake.
Yeah, or peppermint bark. I do challenge everybody to find a mantra. That's very helpful. I loved the connection over consumption. That was just our mom's. Just whenever she felt super big urges, it just reminded her of what was the most important thing. And that could be consumption of you could insert whatever you want of that. Consumption of that alcohol, food, social media, comparison, all of that. So I thought that was awesome. But yeah, being around people who are also being mindful, who are also being conscious of the way they're going through it, who are also sharing ways that they're present and able to show up is huge. So,
all right,
that's what we got for you. Thanks for hanging with us during this holiday edition. That's all. Where can they find us?
You tell me.
Well,
no one's looking for me.
I look for you sometimes. Usually the dog sometimes does.
You're 20% of my followers.
You can find me on Instagram at Lauren Regula. You can find Dave on Instagram at Dave Regula. You can find us on Facebook. We have a free Facebook group. It's Strong Mom, Physical, Mental, and Emotional Mastery. And we have a YouTube channel, Strong Mom. I think it's actually my name. I think it's Lauren Regula. Yeah.
We'll lock that up for the next episode. We'll figure out where you can actually find us.
Yeah. And we have a website, strongmomstrongfam.com.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.